Conferenceitis. The world is getting gripped under new diseases every day. As the scientists are busy not only in identifying the viruses but also naming them, we have discovered a new disease found typically among the intelligentsia. It has gone unnoticed for ages only because the academia hankers to get it. We have found that this is the only disease that has escaped the radar screen of medical insurance companies. As we have been granted a patent for this discovery, we can safely disclose its symptoms and the possible remedy. The first stage of conferenceitis is Seminaritis, which, like a common cold, every student catches it the moment he or she registers for a PhD. It starts with his participation in the departmental seminars. It helps him in building up his immunity towards criticism by fellow researchers. Unless he catches Seminaritis, his professor guide does not give him co-authorship for a research paper. Even if the paper is written fully by the student, it is mandatory to write the guide's name as the first author. Today we are going to discuss only about conferenceitis, which is the advanced stage of Seminaritis. We have been able to locate this disease only because the conferenceitis patients are given attendance certificates after every conference. Without this certificate, patients cannot apply for promotion. Various governments have replicated this practice by issuing certificate of vaccination for COVID-19, without which nobody can travel by any airline. Conferenceitis is seasonal. The season varies from one country to another. In European countries, its incidence occurs when conferences are organized prefixing the Christmas vacation. In India, they are normally held from December to March. Some universities in India organize booster dose conferences in March so as to finish funds which are received late but are required to be consumed before the financial year end on March 31st. Our decades of research has enabled us to identify the following symptoms among the patients suffering from this disease. Symptom 1. Absent-mindedness is the widely known personality characteristic of all professors the world over. This unique characteristic typically disappears as the disease progresses. The patient starts recollecting every minute detail of all the conferences he has attended so far. He remembers how in a conference in Heidelberg, he had to pay even for tea served in between the two sessions. He therefore decides to buy a mini flask this time to carry tea prepared by himself in his hotel room. In Asian countries, such tea is free. The professor can therefore manage within his per diem allowance paid by the funding agency. He remembers how in the World Congress held in Delhi, names of the American delegates were printed in bold capitals, and those from India and SAARC countries were printed in a smaller font. So this time, the professor gets his badge designed and printed by his doctoral student. The patient goes on a shopping spree to carry ethnic designer clothes for the evening dances that the organizers arrange every evening before dinner. After all, they have to ensure that the participants do not get bored after the day long intellectual discussions. Symptom 2. The patient suddenly becomes very talkative and starts socializing a lot. This helps in self promotion of his intellectual status. He starts upgrading his CV by including the list of seminars and conferences he attended during the last 1 year. His list of talks speaks volumes about his versatile persona. He had delivered talks at the annual day function in his son's school, cut ribbon at the inauguration of his neighbor's painting exhibition, and declared open the cyclist marathon organized by the children in his housing society. With all these additions, the list becomes too long to read. After all, the organizers go only by the number without reading the details. Where is the time for all such minute verification? Major observation. Conferenceitis patient normally begins his conversation by saying, "Excuse me, I think I have met you somewhere. Was it at the Sydney conference in 2017, Amsterdam in 2020, or in Delhi last year?" Interestingly, the theme of his research papers has remained unchanged for over a decade. For instance, last year he had presented a paper entitled Executive Job Stress Causes and Remedies in Kolkata. This year he has been invited to Singapore to speak on executive job stress. Is there a remedy? Research is an open ended process, they say. But for conferenceitis patients, it is a never ending process. Nobody has ever bothered to cross check what he has written. Oh, very interesting paper. The patients always compliment one another. Symptom 3. The patient develops an intense interest in tourism. After all, he is not attending conferences just for making his CV more impressive. He makes an elaborate search on social media to locate his past students, college mates, and distant relatives. Such contacts come handy in local shopping and sightseeing by skipping sessions when he has no work but to listen to others. At times, it helps also to avoid the conferenceitis smitten fellow participants who talk nothing but about their flights and which airline serves better food and wines free of charge. In the acute cases of conferenceitis mania, the patient reverts to his absent mindedness. There have been cases of professors who sent their biodata online to the organizers instead of sending the research paper. There are some who manage attending a conference without even writing a paper. A few of them kill time by watching YouTube or texting on WhatsApp when they start feeling sleepy in the post lunch sessions. The organizers, however, never mind if some patients take a nap in their chairs. They understand that it is the after effect of the spicy food and other delicacies specially ordered for the delegates. In the last stage of conferenceitis, the patient is lost in the memory of past conferences. During conferences, his entire focus is on developing contacts. Some honest patients confess to us that contacts are developed either before or after the conference, and the conference is only a show organized for merriment. This disease was on the verge of eradication during the pandemic from 2020 to 2022 across all the continents due to obvious reasons. The vulnerable patients could not imagine sitting at home and participating in webinars sans any good time that they were used to during the bouts of conferenceitis. This disease is not limited only to college and university teachers. Even medical doctors hanker to get this disease. Obviously, then, nobody is researching on the remedial measures. The disease, therefore, will continue to proliferate in a geometrical proportion.